Hi, I'm Lynn and I am with the Bead Shop at Ben Franklin in Monroe, and today we're going to make a stretchy bracelet. What you're going to need is your Stretch Magic and your beads. So select those out and get them laid out and ready to go. This Stretch Magic is the 1mm Stretch Magic. When you use 1mm, you don't need a needle, you can simply thread your beads on. So when you've got your beads threaded on, what you want to make sure is that the bracelet is the right length for your wrist. The way you make sure that it's the right length for your wrist is that you take something, you wrap it around your wrist, and you mark the spot, then you measure it with your ruler. My wrist is 6.5 inches, so the ideal bracelet width for me is 7.5 inches. So you just add an inch on. It's important to do this especially with children because they have little wrists. And this way they'll fit. So once you've got your beads threaded on, you're going to cut your Stretch Magic from the spool. You're going to put a large hole bead on the end. You're going to take both your tails and you're going to tie a square knot. A square knot is simply the first step of tying your shoes. So it's right over left, and then you're going to do left over right. When you pull the knot tight, what you want to do is you want to pull it so that the beads end up butting up against each other. Keep tension on it and do the left over right. I usually use my fingers to kind of pull it tight, and I slide it off my finger. When you've done this, you're going to think that your knot's tight enough, but if you take a look at it, like I just did, and you can see the individual threads, it's not tight enough. So you take the tail, you pull them, and you pull the bracelet itself. When you do that, the knot shrinks up and you can't see the individual lines. When your knot is shrunk up to that amount, then it's where you want it to be. After that, you're going to take your knot and you're going to pull it inside your large hole bead because that bead is going to disguise the knot. We're going to use GS Hypo Cement to glue the knot in place. What's great about GS Hypo Cement is that it comes with a needle, so that if you have smaller beads, you can simply put the needle inside the bead and put a dab of glue on the knot. Once you've got a little dab of that on there, set it aside and let it dry overnight. Once it's dried overnight, you come back through with your cutters and you'll cut the tails off. And then it's ready to go. For more grown-up sort of bracelet, I use the 0.5mm Stretch Magic. I give myself about 2 feet of it because you're going to double it over and you're going to tie an overhand knot at the end. The secret to doing this is you're going to make a NYMO harness with your needle. You're going to take a needle and about 8 inches of NYMO and thread it through. So you'll have your needle and your NYMO. You're going to take your Stretch Magic that you've doubled over and have a knot on it and thread 1 strand of the NYMO through it. Then you're going to take your NYMO, tie an overhand knot, and you've got a NYMO harness. I always take and pull the knot off to the side so that it's not bulky going through your beads. Now with your needle on here and your finer gauge Stretch Magic, you can string on smaller beads, seed beads and stone beads and the like. And that's what you do. I hope you learned something today, and if you have any questions at all, please come on into the Ben Franklin and I will be more than happy to show you what you need to do. Thank you.